Okay, when we talk about our or compound inequalities, these are our unions. Okay, it's what makes both of them, so it could be this answer or that answer. So all of it together is a solution. Versus before we talked about ands, they had to overlap. These do not have to overlap. Okay, so when we see or, obviously the word or will be on there, or greater equal to or greater. So when you're thinking of that, you're going to hear me say great or. That's an or inequality. Okay, so here's a couple examples. All right, k over 11 is greater than or equal to 1, or k over 5 is less than 1. All right, immediately we see that word or, so we think union. All right, so we're going to take both ones, or both inequalities and solve. So k divided by 11, opposite is multiplying. So k is greater than or equal to 11. Over here we multiply by 5. K is less than 5. All right, so let's go to our number line. 0, 5, 10, 15, -5, -10. All right, so let's do k is greater than or equal to 11. So I go to 11, which is here. It's a closed dot, and it's going to the right. Okay, and then k is less than 5. I go to 5. That's an open circle going to the left. Remember, this is a union. They do not have to overlap. So, lucky for me, this is just my solution. I'm done. Yay. Example 2. -7 plus x is greater than 3. Or -2x is greater than or equal to 22. All right, I immediately see that or, so I know it's a union. And then I solve each one independently. So I add 7 to both sides. X is greater than 10. And then I divide both sides by -2. When I divide or multiply by a negative, I flip. That would give me -11. Okay, so now I go ahead and I graph my solution. Okay, let's do x is greater than 10. So I go to 10, it's an open circle pointing to the right. Then I go to -11, it's a closed circle pointing to the left. And it's a union, so both any of these numbers in the shaded areas could be a solution. Now, if I were to ask you, is 0 a solution? You would say no, right? 0 is not a solution because it's not in either one. If I asked you, is 18 a solution? You would say yes, because it's in one of the shaded. If I asked you, is -11 a solution? Yes, because it's in the shaded. All right, example 3. -9 is greater than 2x minus 1 is greater than equal to 7. Okay, so I don't see the word or and, so I have to go off what my inequalities are. This is greater or greater, so I know this is going to be a union. Now I go ahead and I split them up. Over here I've got -9 is greater than 2x minus 1. Over here, I've got 2x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 7. Now I solve. I add 1, and I divide by 2. Remember, to graph, I have to have my variable on the left. Okay. Over here, I add 1. Divide by 2. Okay. Now I graph my solution. Zero, 2, 4, -2, -4, -6. All right. So for my blue, I go to -4. It's an open circle pointing to the left. For my green, it's a closed circle at 4 pointing to the right. And this was a union. Therefore, any of the values in the shaded are possible solutions. Last one, and then you have your practice problems. 4. 12 is greater than or equal to 3x minus 6, which is greater than or equal to negative 6. All right, I don't see the word and or, so I got to look at the inequalities. This is greater or, so it's a union. And I go ahead and I break it up. So over here, I've got 12 is greater than or equal to 3x minus 6. Over here, I've got 3x minus 6 is greater than or equal to negative 6. All right, let's solve. So I add 6. And I divide by 3. So there we go. Once again, I have to have that variable on the left. So this is x, this is 6. Over here, I add 6. That gives me 0. And I divide by 3. Now I can graph. Let's go up just a little bit. Okay. 0, 3, 6, 9, negative 3, negative 6, negative 9. All right, my green is a closed circle going to the left. Or my blue, sorry. My green is a closed circle going to the right. So now, it's a union. So all of the possible shaded are solutions. If I look on here, they both crisscross and I have an arrow going each way. Therefore, my solution is all real numbers. And I would shade that entire number line because they crisscrossed, okay? Now remember, if this was an and, we would just take what's in the middle. But since this is an or, it's a whole different ball game. Okay, so it's all real numbers. Let me get that off there because I don't want you thinking. All right, here are your practice problems. You are going to solve and graph.